what's going on with Princeton baseball. There's a lot of buzz about college baseball right now because you see, Jack Leiter throwing these crazy no hitters at Vanderbilt and people watching it all over. But the Ivies are on hiatus.
We are, and I think it was a very difficult decision for the Ivy League presidents. They decided to cancel all spring sports and Ivy League competition. You might see track and field and a couple teams when April rolls around be able to qualify some guys maybe for nationals or something like that. But the Ivy League schools are just so uniquely different. You have Columbia and Penn that are in cities. You have Dartmouth and Cornell that are very rural. So all our fall sports were canceled. We didn't have any students on campus at all in the fall. The original plan was to have freshmen and juniors on campus in the fall, and then sophomores and seniors in the spring. And so at that point, there's no redshirting in the Ivy League. A lot of athletes decided to take gap years because of the uncertainty. So that's really the only way that you can preserve your year of Ivy League eligibility is to withdraw for the year. So most of the teams were very short staffed to begin with. Our whole junior class decided to take a gap year. Harvard and Yale both had a number of athletes that decided that they weren't going to participate this year. So it just became a really difficult decision. And I think, the Ivy League presidents really want to, at some point this academic year, be able to have some in-person classes. So I think they were concerned about doing things differently for the athletes, having the athletes play and travel and do all kinds of things. So, they made the decision to not have any games. Our players are terrific. We're allowed to practice. We're sort of within our own little bubble right now. So, I'm going back to my professional days. We're trying to run a player development camp with our guys, try to really work individually with their swings and, defensive work, pitchers, bullpens. And then, we have an opportunity to sort of inter-squad to do some live type situations on the weekend. So we're making the most of it. This pandemic has impacted a lot of lives, around the world. So we try to make sure that our guys are no self-pity and that they're grateful for what we can do.
What about summer leagues for the players as individuals and stuff like that? Is that an option for them, or are they restricted by some of the Ivy League rules and guidelines at this point?
Nope, no restrictions whatsoever. So we have virtually all of our players that don't have, internships, which a lot of the older Princeton guys do. So, we have guys that are playing in the Northwoods League. We have guys at the Coastal Plains League, the New England Collegiate Baseball League. So it actually is a nice situation because a lot of times coming off of a full season, not as much the Ivy League, but, the Power Five conferences that in playoffs and College World Series, they end up playing 65 or 70 games. A lot of those kids, their coaches don't want them playing summer ball or really say, all right, you can go play and get, another 50 at-bats or, another 20 innings. But, teams were very interested in the Ivy League players because they know that we haven't played. So, we love for our guys. We expect them to go up and play all summer long, and there's no restrictions whatsoever on amount.
It's kind of harkens back a little bit to, the way we develop players as kids, meaning you go back to the early days when it's just T-ball or early ball. We're only worried about fundamentals. That's really all you could work on. And you're just learning the game and you're refining. And you're never really getting the chance to bring it out into real game situations until whenever, somewhere down the line where it's sort of more important, right? I wonder how this is going to affect your players. Like or even affect the way you coach. Like, is it more, visible and tangible to your player now, the importance of fundamentals and working on them over and over and drilling them over and over and over, even at a higher established level, do you think?
I really don't. I'm a real development person anyway. And I believe, development is what you want to start with, and then the results will come. And I also believe that the real nuts and bolts, as I call them, of baseball, are hitting, throwing, catching, running the bases. So, it gives us an opportunity. Those are the fun parts too. So for our guys to be able to come down and really work on their swings, really, work for us, hitting to all fields. The guys that can run, we have them working on, bunting for hits. Pitchers really have a chance to, because we're not playing games right now other than some scrimmages, can almost combine, a velocity, long toss, weighted ball, light ball type of a program, and still, pitch and work on their their mound, their deliveries and things like that. So we're really just trying to focus. When you say fundamentals, to me, the fundamentals are the skills. The better we can make our guys as hitters, the better we make them defensively. It's really, we have time to sort of experiment a little bit. We'll break out, the videos and slow things down a little bit, make some changes where normally if we were playing in a season, we wouldn't really be making a whole lot of changes, with guys, especially with our young players. I mean, I think we'll really see this next year that we've been able to really be hands-on with our freshmen. Because most of the time, once the season starts, like I said, the last thing we want to do is to try to, the young kids, throw too much at them in terms of instruction when they're getting ready to compete in their first, college season. So we'd like to think that we're going to be, by the time next fall rolls around, that our young guys are going to be a little bit further along in their development than they normally might have been had we just been playing games.
And you're going to have 3 classes of guys that are playing their first season, right? Your freshmen, sophomores, and juniors.
Exactly. I mean, our sophomores right now, we played 5 games last year before the season was shut down, no conference games at all. So, so when we play our first Ivy League game next year, we're going to have 3 classes that have never played in an Ivy League ball game before.
That's crazy. How are you keeping your attention, coach? Like that's it. Like you're always gearing up, right? For every year you're gearing up to I mean, as soon as you're putting you're probably figuring out like putting the schedule together. Then once you've put the schedule together, you're figuring out all the logistics around that. That's removed, right? I mean, there's your job
not
has
really.
changed tremendously, right?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, not really. We're continuing to recruit. It's different because our kids are moving on. I mean, they're graduating, they're moving in the Ivy League. Like I said, they just don't stay. So we're constantly recruiting. We're scheduling in advance because, we have to continue to schedule teams and schedule spring trips and everything. And in terms of, we look at our scrimmages like now, like we're telling our guys, these are your games for now. So we really try to engage with our players. We really try to make them that every day when they come to the field, we want to get something out of it. They're in their strength and conditioning. And again, because we're not playing games, we can actually push them a little bit harder with the strength and conditioning than you normally would during a season where you would just be doing some maintenance type work. So again, we're trying to look at this as a positive, and we're trying to really develop our players, make them stronger, work with their skill set. Develop some arm strength, and really be hands-on, this year. And we're hoping that it'll really help us out, like I said, when we can get back to normal next fall.